talking. This is actually getting really good. Oh, it's you guys. Well, I guess with, of course, I got here in my hands. Looks like it's that time again, huh? You know, if I had a nickel for every single time I talk about a Venom movie while reading this one of this amazing copies of Venom Lethal Protector, to actually start off on my thoughts videos, unlike any of the other ones, I think I have 2 nickels. It's strange that it actually happened twice for sure. But yeah, nevertheless, welcome back everybody to another thoughts video for all of you guys. And, well, I guess seeing how October is drawing to a close as of now, and Halloween is right around the corner as we speak, I guess it looks like for today's movie that we're going to be in for, I think it's about time that we get ourselves in with, of course, what we're actually in for as of now, because, yeah, let's face it, pretty much, I guess, pretty much with the inclusion of Retro GameCon that I've been to pretty much over a couple of weeks ago, and of course, with what I've actually been through with, of course, Joker, Filet Do, and Smile 2, looks like for today's movie that we're going to be talking about here today is, of course, yet another sequel for sure. I'm honestly quite surprised that it seems like we're now declaring October of this year as pretty much a little spooky edition of sequel month for sure. And let me tell you, I definitely know it's saying a whole lot for sure, because, yeah, given to some of the other sequels that I've actually talked about on this, pretty much in these thoughts videos for a long time, that's definitely saying a whole lot for sure, so. But hey, regardless on that, I guess it looks like we're in for something really quite interesting for sure, and, yeah, luckily enough, this movie we're talking about here today is, of course, quite an interesting one to say for sure, and that's hardly saying a whole lot for sure, so yeah, I think you can pretty much get the idea by now for sure, so yeah, looks like for today's thoughts video, we're not only talking about another sequel, but let's just say this is, of course, the latest installment in the now trilogy as we speak, which unfortunately means it's part of a current cinematic universe that is pretty lackluster, to say the least. And again, if you have seen my thoughts videos in the past for sure, including one that I did pretty much from way earlier this year, you would definitely know it's definitely saying a whole lot for sure, So yeah, but in case you're actually quite curious for sure, I think it's about time that we get ourselves in with, of course, pretty much with an alien symbiote latch onto us, but for the very last time for the time being, which is definitely saying a whole lot, with, of course, today's movie that of course I got to see earlier today, which is none other than Venom: The Last Dance. So yeah, that's of course excuse me, that's of course what I'm going to be talking about here today. Not only is this the latest film that just came out not too long ago, but it is also currently, as of now, the third and of course the final installment in, of course, the Venom trilogy for sure, so yeah. It's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alright. Okay, so yeah, before I can go ahead and talk about this latest movie, I think I might as well give you a little recap of course, the previous Venom movies that came beforehand. Now, I knew since the very beginning, for sure, I've got myself into, of course, see these movies for sure, which is currently a part of course, Sony's lackluster cinematic universe as we speak, centered around pretty much some well-known Spider-Man villains without having Spider-Man involved for sure, so But hey, I guess regardless on that, if there's anything that I actually do remember in this pretty much ongoing cinematic universe as we speak, because let's face it, I think given to where it's at right now, I think it's pretty much best if it's left on its way out for sure. So yeah, but if there's anything I do remember from that for sure, I would definitely have to say the Venom movies for sure, because yeah, I guess that's established from, of course, this comic book I've held on to for many years, which I guess is the first of course, 6 issues that I got, of course, Venom Lethal Protector that I was lucky enough to still get for sure. You would definitely know that Venom is definitely one of the most well-known Spider-Man villains that has been around for sure, and let's not forget to mention, he also makes a really good anti-hero for sure, so yeah, it is actually quite interesting for sure. So I guess when it comes to this, pretty much this now trilogy as we speak, I might as well give you guys a little recap on, of course, what I actually thought of course, the first 2 movies for sure. So yeah, in case pretty much you may not remember from, of course, my past thoughts videos for sure, yeah, the first Venom movie with Tom Hardy as Eddie Brock, aka Venom, I didn't like when it first came out for sure, but I will have to say it did actually have some pretty good acting for sure, and I really do admire on what they were trying to do to make it good. I mean, it could have been a whole lot better than what we were anticipating for sure, but I do applaud their commitment to actually making it work for sure. And yeah, by all means, it's not a great film by all means. In fact, I still didn't like it when it first came out. But I do acknowledge that a lot of other people really do enjoy it as well. So, good on you if that's the case. So, but yeah, I think it's pretty much what I thought of course, the first Venom movie for sure. Its sequel, however, Let There Be Carnage, which I did talk about a few years ago, pretty much on these thoughts videos. I am kind of mixed at best on, of course, that one, but I will have to say, I actually do think it is much better than the first Venom movie, and is definitely what I was looking for a movie centering around, well, Venom for sure, so yeah, but then again, it's pretty much what I can say for, of course, on my, pretty much my thoughts video that I did 3 years ago for sure. So if you want a little bit more in-depth analysis for sure, then go watch my thoughts video on Let There Be Carnage that I did 3 years ago to really recap your mind for sure. And as for the first Venom movie, Venom movie, yeah, I did pretty much briefly talk about it, of course, pretty much another one of my thoughts videos that I did years ago for sure, where I talked about the movies I've seen during the second half of 2018 for sure. So yeah, that will give you a little bit more context of course, what I'm actually talking about for sure. So yeah. I guess it's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front for sure. And to be honest, I think ever since then, I think pretty much since the first 2 Venom movies that came out, I think pretty much the other movies that came out afterwards, Morbius and Madam Web, both of which I've already talked about for sure. And yes, by the way, I am going to be doing the same thing to Kraven the Hunter in a couple of months from now, so we'll definitely wait and see on how well that turned out for sure. Yeah, I think, yeah, but regardless on that, I think those films that came out afterwards for sure haven't actually been very great, to be honest. And yeah, I'll admit I did slam on them pretty good for sure because of how terrible they are. But the only things that I do find positive by far is, of course, well, pretty much of anything for the case of Morbius, it did give us the ever-popular meme, "It's Morbin time." And as for Madam Web, well, I think pretty much the iconic line in the trailer, "He was in the Amazon with my mom when she was researching spiders right before she died." Yeah, I guess if anything is, of course, pretty much meme-worthy, just because of how awful that movie was for sure, so. But yeah, let's face it, I think those movies as of now haven't actually been very great for sure, and yeah, actually I do think I prefer the Venom movies more than any of those abominations anytime soon, so. But I don't know, maybe it's just me talking for sure. But stepping aside from that, if we were to take those 2 movies, well, now 3 movies with Craven coming out, as I mentioned earlier, out of the equation and leave the Venom movies on their own for sure, I think we would have gotten a decent trilogy for sure, so... But I'm getting way too ahead of myself. Regardless on that, I actually got myself quite curious to see on how this movie will actually do for sure. And you definitely bet your ass that I guess if anything, from what I'm actually seeing, they're really pushing out to, of course, be the 3rd and, of course, final installment in, of course, this now trilogy for sure. So either way, hopefully I think they'll give us something that'll close things off either with a sizzle or a bang for sure. So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. So I guess if anything, I did manage to get myself in to go and see this movie earlier today, all thanks to the kind people at Crown City Cinemas, as always, for doing so for sure. Really love you guys a whole lot. And not to mention, now that I got back, here I am talking about it for sure, because, yeah, I guess I forgot to mention earlier, I just got out of course, doing a podcast recording as of now, so that should probably be up very soon, so we'll definitely have to wait and see on that. But regardless on that, yeah, looks like I did manage to go and see this movie for myself, and... well, now that I've officially got back from, of course, seeing it, a lot of you guys may be wondering, what do I think of this movie now that I finally got the chance to see it? Well, I will have to say, honestly, I don't think this movie is by all means great for sure, but it's not terrible either for sure, So yeah, I think it's probably the best way you can actually describe this movie for sure. I don't think it's actually on the same level as, of course, Let There Be Carnage, where I actually do think it's much better than the first film. But I don't think it's actually as bad as the first Venom movie by far for sure. I definitely do think it's actually a passable and yet decent flick all around for sure, So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say, of course, this movie in a nutshell for sure, so yeah. Okay, I guess I'm done with that, so yeah. Alright, so yeah, now that I've got the short version out of the way, I guess I'll go ahead and talk about everything that I need to talk about for sure. For starters is, of course, the story, and... honestly, to me, I think I, pretty much, if anything, on paper, I do think the story in this movie actually know what it was going for sure, and I really do admire, of course, what they actually did. But at the same time, I do kind of felt it is pretty much lackluster, to say the least, and really has no idea, of course, what direction they're trying to go for sure, to which, yeah, I guess some parts of it doesn't kind of make sense, of course, that front, but a few good chunks of course, what they actually did, for sure. I really do think they did have some good ideas going, and I do felt that it could have actually been explored a whole lot more, for sure, so yeah, that's pretty much what I can say for, of course, the story as of now. Now, as for the writing, I have to say, yeah, if there's anything that I pretty much, I definitely do think it's the worst part of this flick, I will have to say the writing, I have to say, yeah, honestly, it's not really that great for sure. Everything from what I'm actually seeing, it is pretty much a bit of a downgrade by far, and I really do felt that maybe I think it could use some adjustments, or maybe a massive rewrite for sure to actually make this all the more incredible for sure, but given to what I'm actually seeing, I really do think they could have actually done some stuff to make it look great for sure, So yeah, I think it's pretty much what I can say, of course, the writing, I have to say, and even a few bits of comedy, I will have to say. Well, for a while, I will have to say that there are some parts in it that did kind of make me chuckle for a big, for sure. The rest I just kind of felt, it just really didn't hit the mark all the way, and I really don't think it gave us something all the more unique for sure. So yeah, I think it's pretty much what I can say for all those aspects in a nutshell for sure. I mean, I do like the ideas on what they're going for, but a good chunk of them, I will have to say, is very lackluster, and I really do think they could have actually put in a whole lot more effort to make it all the more compelling for sure. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alright, so now that I've got those out of the way, I guess I'll go ahead and talk about the next couple of things I need to talk about for sure, which for starters is, of course, well, the characters and yeah, honestly, to me, if there's anything that I do find positive for sure, I actually really do admire the characters for sure. I think a good chunk of them that I've seen from the previous movies for sure, I really do love the nice sense of development they actually gave, and how much they've actually grown ever since the first two movies by far for sure, and even some of the new ones that got introduced, I will have to say, are not that bad for sure. I mean, sure, I think I could have actually taken a lot of time to actually get to know them more, but I really do think they did the best they could to make the characters actually all the more compelling and, of course, well, somewhat likable and interesting. Not fully, but somewhat for sure, so yeah, that's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front, and of course, for pretty much for the actors that came on board to play all these characters. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, pretty much one other thing I do find positive for sure, and I know I definitely did mention this, and of course, the first two movies for sure, is that, well, I definitely do think the actors in this movie, they actually did give off some pretty good performances for sure, so yeah, I guess despite, of course, the lackluster writing and, of course, poorly made script that they had to work with for sure, I really do think the actors playing all these characters actually are giving somewhat of course, some entertaining performances for sure that I really do admire for sure. And, of course, I guess it is quite obvious that, of course, Tom Hardy as Eddie Brock, a.k.a. Venom, yeah, there's no doubt in my mind, I really do think he really pulled off that role flawlessly, kind of like what he did in the previous movies for sure. I really love, of course, what they actually did to make Eddie Brock work for sure, and I still think Tom Hardy really did the job quite well for sure, that I really couldn't help but admire all the way for sure, So yeah, I think it's pretty much what I can say, of course, on that front for sure, so yeah, despite the very lackluster writing for sure, I really do think the actors really did pull off some really good performances, in my opinion, and I really do admire that for sure, so yeah, I guess it's pretty much what I can say for, of course, pretty much the characters and the actors for sure, so yeah. It's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alright, so yeah, now that I've actually got those out of the way, what else is there for me to talk about? Well, quite a whole lot for sure, so yeah, I guess if anything, pretty much what they were going for with its tone by far, yeah, I mean, I do applaud, of course, what they were trying to do with the film's tone, by all means, but it is a little bit too out of place, in my opinion, and I really don't think, yeah, I really do think that they really could have actually given us something a little bit more dark and heavy that will really fit in well with, of course, the idea of course, Spider-Man, a well-known Spider-Man villain for sure, but then again, I really don't think it's actually all that bad for sure. In fact, some parts of it, I will have to say, actually do kind of work quite well for sure. And again, it really does fit in well of course, what I was looking for for a Venom movie for sure. So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say for the tone as of now, and of course, pretty much for the action, I will have to say, seeing how this is a superhero movie, yeah, another thing I do find positive for sure, I really do think the action in this movie is actually nicely done for sure. Well, I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong, I think some parts of it I do kind of felt is not really that compelling to me for sure. But the rest I will have to say is, of course, nicely done. I really do think they really did everything they can to make it pretty much a really action-packed adventure for sure. And yeah, I really do admire that for sure. And I think they did a somewhat decent job of course, the action for sure. So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say, of course, on that front for sure. And the visuals and the effects, I will have to say, honestly, I still think they are actually nicely done for sure. I think the way they actually turned it out for sure is actually nicely done for sure. And I'll admit, I think parts of the CGI, I will have to say, could have used a little touch up here and there, but they actually do look good for sure, and I really do think they really did an incredible job, of course, on that front. So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say for the visuals and the effects for sure. Now, as for the pretty much the direction of this film, and I will have to say right now, this is of course done by pretty much a pretty much a long-time writer of these movies, and of course first-time director Kelly Marcel, to which, to be honest, I think I will have to say, no disrespect for Kelly Marcel, I definitely know Kelly is, of course, a really nice person, and of course, has done good stuff in the past. But I guess for Kelly as a director, for sure, to be honest, I really do think it's, I really do think the direction of this film is not really that compelling to me, and I think it could have used a little reworking here and there to actually make it all the more good for sure. So yeah. It's not the film's director, it's not the director's fault for sure. I do felt this is actually more like training wheels to directing rather than riding a full-edged bike for sure. So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. And the cinematography, I will have to say, honestly, I think it's actually not that bad. He actually gave us some pretty decent camera shots, I'm not gonna lie, for sure. Yeah, I'll admit some parts of it I do think could have been shot a whole lot better for sure, but the rest is actually done fine, to be honest, and I really do think, yeah, I really do think it did the best it could for sure. And of course, for the editing, I have to say, honestly, I think from what I've actually seen a good chunk of parts of this movie, yeah, I think the editing, I will have to say, is a little bit too rapid for sure, that I just couldn't make out, of course, what's going on, and of course, moreover, I do felt the film's pacing, I will have to say, really isn't that pretty much, it doesn't really match quite well with, of course, what I'm seeing, and it could have actually been done a whole lot better than what we've actually got right here and then for sure. So yeah, that's pretty much all what I can say, of course, that front, and yeah, I think with everything that I've actually said, I think that could pretty much sum up, of course, what I actually think of this movie as a whole. So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alright, so I guess with all that said and done, that's pretty much everything that I can say about this movie for sure. So yeah, overall, Venom: The Last Dance is, of course, a pretty decent and fine finale to, of course, the Venom trilogy for sure, and pretty much moreover, I definitely do think it is, of course, a decent flick on its own for sure. I can't say this movie is by all means great for sure, but it's not terrible either. I guess I'm somewhat down in the middle for sure, and I guess in all honesty, I would definitely put it in between pretty much the first film and and the second film, by all means, in terms of my ranking, of course, all three of the Venom movies as a whole, for sure. But then again, I really do admire, of course, what they actually are trying to do, for sure, in giving Eddie Brock and Venom the massive conclusion to their story as a whole. And if that's what they were going for, then good for them. I really do applaud, of course, what they actually did, for sure. Maybe I think it could have actually been done a whole lot better to give us one big epic finale, but I think they did the best they could, for sure. So yeah, I guess if you are looking for pretty much something that will really get you pumped up and pretty much see something that is, of course, really, really great, you'll get here. You'll just have to get through some of the stuff that is mediocre and terrible first in order to get to it. It's got a lot of stuff that doesn't make you want to check it out, for sure, but in a strange way, I'm somewhat recommending this movie regardless. I suppose that's saying a whole lot, for sure, but then again, I think it's what I can say for this movie as a whole. So I guess it does really balance out, so yeah, I guess if anything, that's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. So if that's something up your alley, then I guess there's no harm done. I think you're still gonna find some value with, of course, this movie, for sure. Yeah, it may not be pretty much a great movie, for sure, but I'm glad it's not terrible either, for sure. So yeah, I think that's what really matters, of course, on that front, for sure. Just a decent enough movie on its own, and a fine finale to this somewhat decent trilogy. So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front, for sure. So yeah, for my final score, yeah, I guess pretty much given to what I've actually said, I'm giving this like a 5.5 out of 10, for sure. So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Like I said, this movie is not technically great, for sure, but it's not terrible either. I definitely do think it is, of course, a decent enough and yet passable movie for what it is, for sure. And again, pretty much a decent, pretty much a conclusion to this pretty decent trilogy, for sure. So yeah, and I guess on that thought, I guess that'll do it for all the Venom movies, for sure. So yeah, and boy, what a wild ride it's been with these movies, for sure. It did start off weak with, of course, the first movie, for sure, but it did start to get better with the second film, for sure. And of course, for this movie, it left me split down the middle, for sure, and could have actually given me a much better finale, for sure. But regardless on that, I'm glad I actually got through all three of these movies, for sure, and I think there's no harm done, for sure, because I think, I guess if anything, I'm pretty sure a lot of people are actually gonna like them more than I would, for sure. And if that's something that you can admire, then good for you. No harm done. And yeah, like I said, pretty much when really think about this for a second, if you actually take Morbius, Madam Web, and Kraven the Hunter out of the equation, for sure, and of course we have these three movies on their own, then yeah, I think we actually did give get ourselves a pretty decent trilogy for what it is, for sure. So yeah, but I wouldn't blame anyone for that. I do believe a movie centered around Venom, one of the most well-known Spider-Man villains, can actually still be plausible, for sure. So yeah. Hopefully, maybe later on down the road, if they actually do plan on rebooting the Venom movies, for sure, maybe they might give us something that might actually be great, for sure. Just giving pretty much giving Venom his own story, for sure, while staying true to the character from the well-known Spider-Man comics, for sure. And possibly have a little tie-in with, of course, Spider-Man himself, for sure. I mean, let's face it, I think with Spider-Man now in the MCU for sure, I still believe a different interpretation of course, the web-slinger while connecting to, of course, the other movies, even if he's not a feature, could still be possible for sure. And again, pretty much giving, if anything, you could do something cool and creative with the idea of course, this alien symbiote for sure. Kind of like what we are seeing right here in this Lethal Protector comic series for sure. So yeah. Yeah, maybe I think later on down the road, and like I say, if they do plan on rebooting the Venom movies anytime soon, maybe they might give us something really good and interesting, and really something that will get us hooked on for sure, and say, wow, this movie is of course a must-watch by far. But we'll have to wait and see when the time comes for sure, And yeah, I guess for what it is, I think it's about time that we finally put this recent Venom trilogy to rest as of now for sure. Yeah, it was of course a fun ride while it is for sure, and I think it's about time that we finally move on for sure. If only I wish I could say the same thing for this ongoing Spider-Man cinematic universe Sony is pushing out, because, yeah, let's face it, I think maybe it's probably best if it's on its way out for sure, with no plans on continuing any further for sure, but we'll definitely have to wait and see on that. So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say of course that front. Alright. And I guess on that thought alone, that'll pretty much do exactly that. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this latest thoughts video, and by all means, I want to ask all of you guys, what do you think of Venom: The Last Dance if you've actually seen it? Do you absolutely really enjoyed it and thinking ended this trilogy off with a massive bang, or do you absolutely hate it and thinking it went out with a massive sizzle for sure? Or are you like me and you actually thought this movie was alright? It's not great for sure, but it's not terrible either. But still gave us a pretty decent conclusion nonetheless for sure. So yeah, let me know what you thought of this movie down in the comments down below. I would love to know on what you guys think for sure. So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say of course that front. Thank you guys so much for watching this latest thoughts video, and well, I guess if anything, that'll conclude, of course, all the movies I've seen for October this year for sure. And boy, I'm excited to see what November is, of course, gonna give us for sure, because it's not only my birthday month that'll be coming up, but the lineup of movies that we are getting as of now might be interesting for sure, because I know for the fact that, for starters, I'm excited to sail the seas with, of course, Moana again after so many years. So that'll be interesting to see on how it'll actually go for sure. And of course, we're gonna be fighting alongside some well-known gladiators for sure. And the one I'm really excited for the most, I'm actually looking forward to taking a nice trip to the land of Oz just to explore the origins of a well-known Wicked Witch for sure. So yeah, if you know exactly what I'm talking about based on those hints alone, then I think, I guess if anything, you're going to be in for something really good for sure. But I guess until that comes around, I'm sure a lot of you guys may be wondering, I guess for while October is still young as we speak, do I have any plans for Halloween that'll be coming up? That is actually a good question. Though I might have some idea for what I'll do for Halloween for sure, for of course an upcoming video for sure. But I'm gonna leave that as a surprise for now. So you may never know on what will actually come up, but I'll definitely let you guys know if I actually do have something Halloween related for me to do for sure. So yeah, but I guess until that comes around, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll definitely see you in the next video, and moreover, good luck, Craven! Special thanks to all of my supporters on Patreon for making today's video possible, including my top tier supporters for this month, VD. So if you want to be like these guys and show your support to us, then go to patreon.com/Ackleyattack427TV to pledge now, do so, and get some awesome rewards within your budget. Hey guys, this is Ackleyattack4427 here. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. Feel free to like, comment, and share if you enjoy what you're seeing. If you like what you see here and want to see more videos coming up, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button and switch on the notification bell to get notifications and select all notifications to be notified for when we post a new video. And don't forget to switch on notifications on your phone as well. Also, don't forget to check out my second channel and our 2-member channel with Sam the Thomas Fan 1, SamAttack4427TheThomasFan1 Productions, for plenty more content you can't find on here. You can check both of our channels out with the links or by our handles provided on screen. Feel free to shoot me an email with my email address provided, backley95@hotmail.com, if you want to ask me a question, want to collab with me for a project you've got in the works, or if you want to book me to be featured for a convention coming up. Follow me on my social media pages on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to keep up to date with me on updates, announcements, and new releases of my videos, as well as plenty of others I've got with my handles provided, as well as the links down in the description box below. Also, don't forget to follow me on TikTok for other videos I've got aside from the ones I've posted on YouTube, and on Twitch for any future live streams I've got coming up soon, as well as join our official Discord server to see what we've provided. If you wish to show your support to me, then feel free to check out my Patreon to get sneak peeks of my videos coming up before they go up online, as well as getting access to updates and playing more, in addition to getting some awesome rewards within your budget. Also, don't forget to check out and show your support to me on my wishlist on Amazon, and even supporting me at streamlabs.com/AckleyattackTV/tip that you can find in the description box below, as well as on my Twitch page. And in case you can't find any of the links that are provided, then not to worry about a thing. All the links and stuff are also provided on my link tree that you can also find in the description box below, as well as a few selected number of my social media pages. Other than that, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll be sure to see you in the next video. Take care.